Great, isn't it? There we go. So, welcome back to another live stream show. Tonight, I'm John, and I've got my guy, Mike, from, I can't say where he's from.
Voices of the Vic podcast.
That's the one. That's it. Because I couldn't see the thing now. I'm sorry about that. I do apologize for the delayed start because I forgot to click live, which ain't very great. That's because I'm too concerned on my new microphone. And guys, if you do like the video, could you please like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the live section down below. And we'll go through this again. And Paul, Ian, and John, hope you're well. Paul, I'm great. Even everyone, hope you're well. Hi to you, Geordie. Force of Watford season so far. We'll comment that one in a bit. And even John, look forward to the show. James, thanks so much indeed for to talk. So, go for it again. So, Mike, can you tell us what made you support Watford? Just want to know things about you as a fan. So, what made you support Watford Football Club? And also, what's been your best moments?
Yeah, well, I'm 26 now. I started supporting Watford. I think I was about 9 or 10 years old. My first ever match, and we lost to Crewe. We actually didn't win my first 3 games that I attended, and I think it was the 4th game. My dad was like, "Right, if we lose again now, I'm not bringing you to any more Watford games." And luckily, we drew. So I've been going ever since. People will probably pick up from the accent that I am originally from Birmingham, but my dad was born in Watford, hence the reason I support Watford. I sort of went down a different path that way. And do you know what? The early years of my Watford supporting life, like we were, we had a bit of a scare with administration.
Mm-hmm.
We, 16th or 15th in the Championship was a good finish for Watford, and we weren't really doing much. And mates of mine, being from Birmingham and Villa fans, they're high flying back then. When I was a kid, I got so much stick as a Watford fan. But now the tables are turned just a little bit. We've other than last season where we spent it in the Championship, we had 5 pretty good years in the Premier League. And things were good to be a Watford fan again. So, my favourite memory as a Watford fan, I suppose many of your fans listening will probably think of that one where Troy Deeney scored in the last minute against Leicester. That was brilliant. I was there. I was at that game, and it was an absolutely superb atmosphere. But I think the one for me would probably be the FA Cup semi-final win against Wolverhampton Wanderers. We were 2-0 down, and we brought it back to win 3-2, and that was a moment that our little club, Watford FC, was in a FA Cup final. Granted, we got an absolute battering by City in the final. It was still nonetheless the occasion of getting there and everything else. It was absolutely amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, Watford's given you guys some good moments in the Premier League and in the Cup as well. Just shame you got beat off Man City. And Troy Deeney, I mean, it's sad to see the lad goes off to Birmingham, and he is a legend at that football club. I mean, if you give him marks out of 10, I mean, I know it's that question, Troy Deeney, how would you put him? Would you put him at the very, very top, or would you?
I'd put him right at the top. Like anyone that watches, anyone that watches our channel or listens to our podcast will know that being from Birmingham, like Troy is my idol. Like I've still got him on the back of my phone case. I need to get that changed because he's no longer a Watford player anymore, and he's just an absolute legend. Like the things he's done for us, you just wouldn't expect it. And I think to know where he's come from, his background, his childhood, what he's been through, to then he is a Watford legend. To go to that status is amazing. His autobiography actually arrived in the post today, and I'm pretty much almost halfway through it already. And just reading it just makes you like in awe of the man already. But I cannot speak any more highly of Troy Deeney. He's an absolute legend.
The guy's absolutely fantastic. He's a leader, he's a captain, scores, right? And he's a talker on the pitch. And they also respect him. He's putting his name back, put respect back in Troy's name. You'll get it back. What a player. He's giving some great joy at the club as well. Obviously got Elton John at the club as well. And he's still there. And a big Watford fan. And does he go to the games much nowadays, or does he hasn't got a chance?
He tries to he tries to get to as many games as possible. I suppose when you're a global superstar, it's not as easy to just get away and have a free Saturday sort of thing. So he probably finds it a little bit hard. So, but he gets to games as and when he can. He got to the last game of the season, the last home game of the season. Sorry, last season, and I think he got to the one where we were promoted against Millwall. Granted, no fans were allowed in. I think the rules had relaxed a little bit then, so he was all right. But yeah, he tries to get over as much as he can. And listen, he might not have as much of a say anymore in terms of what goes on in the hierarchy. But the money that he's pumped into the club in the past few years, if it wasn't for Elton John, we certainly wouldn't be where we are today.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I wish you had Elton John in Newcastle, to be honest. At least put some money in the club rather than the one we got them in, Mike Ashley, which I think is an absolute disgrace. Our club's a horrible club at the moment in time. I do see it. Got James as well. Newcastle, I think he's a Newcastle fan. Apparently, Newcastle fans are doing a protest. What's going on with that? Well, the thing so, James, we're not very good at protests at the end of the day. We had an opportunity against Leeds on Friday. It wasn't a good one, unfortunately. Yeah, they tried, but at the end of the day, we're not very good at protests sort of thing. Not as good as the Italian League as well, which I do love. So, and I've got Watford Caroline. Caroline, welcome to me show. Please do subscribe to my channel as well, which would be greatly appreciated. Got to Troy left, but Birmingham is home team, so I wish them well. Yes. At the end of the day, sort of thing, got to Troy's left Watford, and I think he do good things with Birmingham, and I hope he does. So, and I don't know if it's a hack. So Mike Ashley's hacked this account again. I mean, if it's the real Paul, I hope he gets started, dude. If it's the one who's going to wind Paul's up, and there's been a lot of trolling going on at the club, at Twitter sort of thing, please pack it in there, because at the end of the day, we had enough of people trolling. I mean, I don't know if you see it on social media, Newcastle United media and the Newcastle fans, there's been a lot of trolling going on. My guy, Paul, from the Toon Review, right, does a horseman show on a Monday. He's got his account hacked YouTube a couple of weeks ago, which thank God he's got it back. But there's been people arguing about it, bitch in the morning, having a go. And I'm not being funny, right? But this needs to stop. What do you think about the trolling going on social media?
Yeah, it's not good nowadays. I think he gets highlighted pretty much after every game, and this is to players, not just fans, as well, to players. We're seeing a lot of things at the moment where, a player might be part of a losing team and he's getting trolled online and social media. They need to stamp down harder on it, because it's too easy, and it's too easy to send a message to anyone and not get sort of reprimanded for it. So it's not good. I mean, I've seen obviously a few things about the protests that is planned at Vicarage Road this week, and I sort of said on my podcast that I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Newcastle. So and Steve Bruce as well. I know he's not probably the most liked man in St James's Park at the moment, but it sounds like things are a bit rough for you guys behind the scenes, which it's a shame to see, to be honest, because a team like Newcastle, you always sort of think back to them times of Alan Shearer, you're in the Champions League and all that, and now what's going on at the club. It's just I wouldn't wish it on anyone. So it's not nice to see at all, and hopefully you can get it resolved sooner rather than later.
Definitely, because I would not put any trolling on my YouTube or trolling on social media. They get reported straight away if it ever happens. So but talking about Steve Bruce, we had him for his first season now. I mean, if you look at his record, okay, we've only won 7 games in the last 34 games. I think it's some of the last 35 games since December. We've only kept 3 clean sheets since February, and the 3 clean sheets we kept, we won against. They're all being relegated: Fulham, Sheffield United, and West Brom. And we're in big trouble this season. We haven't won a game yet at all whatsoever. And then Steve Bruce has come out and he's talking all sorts of rubbish, trying to put a positive spin on. Okay, at the end of the day, I mean, the fans have had enough of Steve Bruce. He needs to be sacked, because I'm telling you now, the longer he stays here, the more chance we're going to get relegated this season. This manager, I'm sorry, he's yesterday's man. And what's your take on Steve Bruce?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pee a lot of Newcastle fans off because obviously the lobby's full of them at the moment. But I've always sort of had a bit of a soft spot for Brucey, and he got heavily criticised at Aston Villa. He had the fans sort of turn against him there. He had a decent spell at Birmingham, but that's going back a fair few years now. I'm saying, 2005? Possibly then. So, yeah, maybe his tactics are getting a bit outdated and he doesn't have a plan B. And, things ain't looking good. Listen, we're no stranger to a manager change at Watford, so I can totally relate to you guys how you're feeling at the moment. So, yeah, but on a personal level, I do quite like Steve Bruce, but maybe his tactics are getting a bit outdated. Maybe he's too easy to suss out now, and he probably is time for a change for you guys. Only you guys will know the real answer to that. I mean, I look back the season we went down in 29-20, and when they restarted football with the coronavirus and no fans, one of our games was against Newcastle at Vicarage Road, and we won 2-1. And it looks like he didn't have a clue what he was doing there, to be honest. But like I said, always had a bit of a soft spot for Newcastle, so hopefully he can get him sorted. But I suppose the problem is, I've just seen a comment there about talk about Eddie Howe. Who's available and who's out there that you could go for? So that's the only worry that I'd have as Newcastle fans.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I'm getting a lot of people. There's a fake account on the account, and I'm gonna block him, sort of thing as well. So I'm sorry, but that is not the real Toon Review, by the way. That is not the real Toon Review. And Paul, if you listen to me, it's sort of thing, right? Give us a ring in an hour's sort of time, and then I'll tell you more details, my guy. Okay, so just let you know that I think your account's been hacked again. So, and whoever's doing this, please stop this, because at the end of the day, it will be reported. And also, there's been a lot of bad things going on. And I'll tell you what, I've got a message as well. That's not me, John, watching you now from a YouTube account. Thanks a lot, Paul. And now he's been blocked. Paul, if you send us a message to me, right, any message you'll do, right, let's just put a question out to Mike, okay, any question to him, that I know is you, okay? And I'll block the hacker as well. I cannot stand him. There you go. I've got Jake into Jake. I haven't forgot you. Lots of talks on how the last 2 days, stuff going on behind the scenes. What do you make of that, John? My point is, I think Steve Bruce will be sacked, right, by Christmas. That's my opinion, right? And I hope Eddie Howe takes over, because I think this guy is made for Newcastle United for me. I'm being realistic. And I hope that is him. I hope Steve Bruce gets a sack anyway in time. So I'm going to fly this out because I've talked to you about mainly Watford sort of thing. Steve Bruce is twat. He's at everyone against him at FV club, and rightly so. You can have him at Watford if you want.
No thanks. He's a nice guy, but no thanks.
He's trying, isn't he? He's trying. Yeah, I mean, like I said, James, that's not the proper. That's the pretending to review. Paul just sends a tweet, by the way. He said that it's not him. I said to Paul, ask you a question, and then any question of Watford, and then I'll know exactly. So, guys, that is not Paul. The real Paul will be back soon. I guarantee you. Thanks for that, Paul. Thank you. And anyhow, Frank Lampard, Graham Jones, Chris Hughton. I wouldn't take Chris Hughton because, listen, as nice the guy he is, and he's done a great things for us when he got us promoted. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think it's gone past. I don't actually employ Chris Hughton ever again. And I'd rather have Hughton than Bruce, by the way. How sad do you have to be a Span comment? Yeah, I have to agree. And shocking. There's been a lot of them this week, and I'm sick of it. Friendless, loose as he wouldn't dare face him in the street. Utter pathetic. Well said, Jake. The guy's 6'5", okay. And I tell you what, he already saw the one Leeds fan after the game last week. So anyone crossing, good luck. And as for my guy, Paul, thanks for that, mate. I really appreciate that. And I've blocked the other one as well, by the way. And just question for you, Mike. How do you think our defence will fare against Sarr and Dennis? This is the real me. And yes, Paul is the real you. That is, he hosted a Horsham show on a Monday night between 8 and 10 o'clock. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. The guy is lit.
I mean, it depends. I've not seen the last few Newcastle lineups, but I assume it's still. Is it Lascelles that's partnered with? Is it Shaw, Fabian Shaw? Is that still the back line at Newcastle at the moment?
At the minute, he plays the back five. The last 2 games, he's played Lascelles, Clark, and Isaac Hayden. Now, Isaac Hayden is a midfielder, our best midfielder at the club, who plays him in a back 3, right? Where you've got Fabian Shah and Federico Fernandez, both defenders, by the way, benched. So that's where we're at the minute. And you've got Richie and Manquillo at wing backs.
See, Richie, again, I think he's more attacking. I don't think he'd suit as a wing back. But listen, you guys watch him more than me, so I might be talking up a lot of rubbish there. But Sarr and Dennis can get some joy out of Kieran Clark. I know a bit about Kieran Clark. We've obviously having quite a few Aston Villa supporting mates. I know about his time at Aston Villa and obviously seen him at Newcastle as well. So I like to think that Dennis can get a bit of joy out of maybe Sarr. I quite like Lascelles. Lascelles is definitely someone I'd have at Watford. I don't know how Newcastle fans feel about Lascelles, but he's definitely someone I'd have at Watford. So whether Dennis can sort of work around him, but Sarr at the moment, I'm not just saying this, but Sarr is just on fire at the moment. I don't think people realise how quick he is. So the fact that you've got Manquillo and Richie as your wing backs, I'd probably, if I was Cisco, I'd probably be looking at Sarr to maybe target Richie because, again, I don't personally think that wing back is Richie's sort of strongest position. So I'd be looking at Sarr to maybe attack that flank. So, yeah, and then as well, Josh King as well. Through the middle, whether he plays Dennis as a number 9 or Josh King through the 9, I do sort of fancy us a little bit when it comes to our front three. And listen, that's not just because it's Newcastle. I'd fancy our front three against anyone because I was saying on my podcast just the other day, I think this is the best front three that we've had in the Premier League, like full stop. So I really do fancy them against most Premier League defences.
Yeah, I mean, you look at our back three, they're very, very slow. Lascelles, I mean, first half, in my opinion, last week, I thought it was poor last week. I might be talking wrong, but the second half, I might be a bit too harsh on him, but he was much better in the second half. Put some good tackles in, but I watched it back. He put some great tackles in, and we got back to Lascelles, we know. But at the end of the day, I mean, I hope he does that every single week now. He needs to step up because we're in trouble at this moment and we need more of him, sort of thing. But it can be a little bit on the dodgy side, I'm not going to lie. But at the end of the day, he gets turned in quite easily for me at times. But when he tackles, he puts it in there, sort of thing. I do. He's one of the better defenders we've got at the club, him, Fernandez and Fabian Shah. The rest of them, I'll just get rid. Let's be real. And then Watford's looking good so far. Good confidence building win to kick off the season. Unbeaten teams. They need to beat like Norwich and Palace. Did they beat Palace? I don't think they did.
We beat Palace in the we beat Palace in the Carabao Cup, but yeah, we beat Aston Villa in the league. So
you're right. And keep doing that, and survival's guaranteed. So that's from Jake. And who is John Lennon? I think Lee meant Neil Lennon. Christian, so I left you out, by the way, Christian. Please do subscribe to my channel. I believe it's your first time, and that'd be brilliant if you do so. Yeah, there's Neil Lennon. He meant to say. I don't think I'd take Neil Lennon. Not now, I wouldn't. And even said, hope we play 4-2-3-1. I got Tony big up from Chippenham, which I'll deliver his tires to. So big up to Tony. Thanks so much for coming on, my guy, and subscribing as well. And James as well. Early days, but what are your thoughts on King and Rose so far for what you've seen? Did a poll into talk about 3 players. A lot of fans were against these. Highly doing Rose and Josh King.
I mean, Danny Rose is someone that you guys are no stranger to. And from what I understand, I don't think he enjoyed the best time at Newcastle from what I've heard. Now, maybe it was a bit of a not the best period to judge him over because I think he was only there 6 months, maybe not even that. I don't know. But Danny Rose has been one of our, better players. We were sort of screaming for him to come in. It took him about 4 games or 3 or 4 games to come into the starting 11. We still wanted to play Adam Messina, who was largely part of our promotion winning side last season. But Danny Rose has been solid. We know what we expect. His fitness. Maybe that's probably why it took him so long to start. His fitness hasn't been the best. We know about his mental health struggles, so that's probably contributed to it. But once he gets fully match fit and gets a run of games under his belt, I firmly believe that will be such a shrewd signing. A bit like Josh King as well. Again, Had a brilliant time at Bournemouth. Went to Everton. Didn't quite work out for him at Everton. He didn't get the game time he perhaps wanted or thought that he'd get. And again, the couple of games he played his first 90 minutes against Norwich in the win at the weekend. And from what we've seen of him so far, if again, like Danny Rose, if he can get a run of games, once he gets that first goal, Josh King, I firmly believe that we've got a real player on our hands. So I'm very surprised, and maybe it's because a club like Newcastle, you automatically thinking you're going to be pushing for more than likes of a team like Watford who have just been promoted. So maybe that poll that gentleman did, sorry, I can't remember his name, but that poll that he did, the answers that he got from there, maybe Newcastle fans looking at it as a different objective to Watford. They're good signings for Watford, but if Newcastle fans were looking for something more this season, then like I'm very surprised none of the other promoted teams went for Josh King. I'm very, very surprised. So I'm very happy with them. I really, really am.
I think we could have done with Josh King, Newcastle's backup striker sort of thing, without a question of doubt. But under Danny Rose, when we had him at Newcastle, right, the version we got from Spurs was that you got an fish and chip version of Danny Rose. Let's be real, because he came in overweight. I mean, it was like watching sumo. I thought it was slow. I think it's mistimed tackles. I mean, it's so wrong. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
he was so overweight. I couldn't believe it. And how they allowed him to pass the medical, I just do not know. I just didn't think he would have come to Newcastle. He just wasn't bothered, sort of thing. You know, that's my opinion. So I could be wrong. Could be wrong. So I got Lee as well. Watford have it on John Rocketman, rather Newcastle have a different breed of Rocketman in Steve Bruce. You sure you don't want him then, Mike?
No, we're all right, thanks. We're all right.
That's fine. That's fair enough. I got Matthew as well. Hi, Matthew, will be okay. And Jordi Fernandez has to start on Saturday. I don't think it's anything special, but definitely our best centre back defensively. Yeah, I have to agree there. But he's just not playing him. It's as simple as that.
I really like the look of that Shah that you've got, Fabian Shah at the back. I really like the look of him. I'm very surprised he's not getting a game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a ball-playing centre-back. And it's either Steve Bruce doesn't like him, or he's just going for someone. I think he's picking the team that he wants to sack because he wants this $4 million payout. Do you know what I mean? That is why he's doing this stuff. He's playing Hayden at the back, right? He's playing Almiron, should be a 10 role. He should be in the cam role. Do you know what I mean? Not in a number 8, no, in a number 6. He's not a number 6 or 8. He's a cam. He plays in the cam role. So, and I've got Daniel. Daniel's in the house, everybody. Yay! There's a word I use, right? I don't know if you watch also Lee Gunner, right? I don't know if you listen to Lee Gunner a lot. He says 3 words, right? I can't say it on here because she's watching as well, so I can't say that at all whatsoever, unfortunately. So I'll get wrong off her, but I'll get so. Anyway, Danielle, I hope you're okay. She's absolutely lovely. I've spoken to her a few times and she's a star. Imagine being so dumb, you have to create a fake YouTube account to troll people. Anyways, Watford fans enjoy the 3 points from us. Our defensive is rubbish and the rest of the team has been boosted. Apart from ASM, of course.
Yeah, St. Maximum's some player, I tell you. He really, really is. I'm going to make a little bit of a confession here, and I'm probably going to get absolutely slated in the comment section here, but when you signed him, when he first come over, I didn't think he was all up to that. Like the comments he was getting, the hype that he was getting, I genuinely didn't think he was all that hyped up. But this season so far, and the back end of last season, like whoa, like you've got some player on your hands there. Like he ran the show for you against Leeds United. Like he absolutely ran the show.
He did. I thought he's a magnificent player. He's got to have an end product. If he gets an end product in this game, work on that, and his final ball, we have got a hell of a player sort of thing. I do not think he'll be at Newcastle at the end and next season. I definitely will not be happening because at the end of the day, he wants to go to a club with his ambition. And unfortunately, it's not here. We need to take over. We've got a cat kiss coming up next Wednesday. And hopefully, everything will be okay. And I've got some last down. I've got Wow Pedro might be back for Saturday as well. Did he come from Fluminense, by any chance?
He did indeed. The same club as Richarlison come over from, Fluminense. He's honestly like, he signed for us the season we went down in 1920. Didn't really see him. Saw glimpses of him off the bench. Thought, he looks all right. We obviously got relegated, so he was thrown into the deep end a little bit. We said, right, you're going to be playing more regularly. And in the second tier of English football, one of the most physical leagues, and he's come over here from Brazil, and he's coming up against big lumps of players in the Championship. He put on 7 kilograms of weight just to deal with the physical demands, and he was a breath of fresh air, dropping deep, winning the ball, bringing others into play. His positioning got better throughout the season, and then he's been injured since May, I think it is. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing him in the Premier League and hopefully against you guys.
Well, anyone could play Newcastle. We're such an easy team to play against, by the way. But I don't know anything about this. Wow, Pedro, by the way. I just never heard of him, but I never watched him play. But if he does play, I should keep an eye on this guy anywhere with closed eyes. And the current Barca manager, which is Ronald Koeman, might be available in a few weeks' time. I tell you, I take Koeman over Bruce all day long. I really will. And I tell you what, he might have been playing the best football, but I tell you something, he's levels above Steve Bruce any time of the day. There's some proper Moleno Bellens out there, Paul. Good to hear from you. Haven't been hacked, but you know what it is? I love Paul the bits, man. You know what I mean? He does not deserve that. He's had a tough time at the minute, and people has been threatening him. This and that. I talked to the brilliant channel last night with the other guy, Steve Rafe, and Steve Rafe is the big name. Does NFC Matters, and check him out as well. And he is one of the top guys in Newcastle United. Super fan. But he knows his stuff, by the way. But I'm not taking any sides because I don't want to get involved in any arguments there. Jake, speaking to Danny, I can't help but ASM Magic just needs to be replenished after playing us. I'd like to be able to do it every single game. Unfortunately, I've got Lee, got Game Jones could well end up being a Barca if they place Koeman and Roberto Martinez. Could you imagine that? That would be amazing. I'll pay for Uber to send Bruce to Watford if you like, lads. It'd be better off with Ronald McDonald as manager. Daniel, I haven't said the 3 words yet, by the way. Oh, man. I might just change my name into that. You never know. But if you get hammered sort of thing, I will change at some stage. She's amazing. Sorry, Palace, was the cup. At least you know you got a win in you against them. Won't have any fear when you face up in the league. I got my guy, Paul. Mate, just being text thanks, not being hacked for me after you come up. Further after, yeah, I will do, Paul. I'll definitely do that, mate. As soon as I come up the air, I'll definitely give you a ring, mate. No question about that. Oh, man. There you go. Talking to other people. I've got Blue Waffle here, guys. Blue Waffle, please subscribe to my channel. And if it's the first time I'll go, I've got John Sinclair's fan club. Wow. You already that person is, by the way. Even my guys, John, when will you be able to sign a merchandise and how much will you charge? You got a growing celebrity status amongst war fan base. Of course I have. It's going to happen soon, my guy. Don't worry about that. And just go over this quickly. I'm going to go to, if I was a Watford fan, that's from Matthew, I'll be very comfortable going to Saturday. Take ASM out of the game and it'll be an easy win for Watford. Danny Rose is Bruce's great partner. I think Steve Bruce should be finding a new occupation, by the way, and that's working for Greg's. So you can have each as much speaking as possible. Cheers for beating us 6-0. Not that's Annie, a Bristol City fan, by the way. So you beat him last season.
6-0 last season. Yeah, that was a run that kicked it all off for us. That was the run that started the promotion charge. So thank you very much, AH Robbins.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's only 13 years old, and I tell you what, he is so intelligent. You want to tat him, sort of thing, do get him, and he'll definitely tat these sort of thing. He's a great guy. I tell you what, in about 10-year time, I won't do this anymore. He's gonna do it for the next 30 years. I can see him 100% because he's a great guy. But a bit cheeky, man, but he's a great guy. And Daniel, a medical Newcastle is the Hokey Cokey and you passed Banter Club. Actually, Mr. Sissoko's tragic, Talk about Mr. Sissoko, by the way. I mean, you got for £2 million, right? We fleeced Spurs £30 million, right? You got for £2 million, right? How's he doing at Watford so far?
I really, really like him. I know you guys probably don't rate him as much as us, but that was a massive signing for us. I don't see what was wrong with him. He's just the type of player we needed. I think there's maybe been one game where his performance has been questionable, but that's to be expected. So I'm looking forward to seeing him for the rest of this season, and hopefully he puts in a solid performance against you guys on Saturday.
Yeah. Let's hope not. Your case, not for my
Yeah,
case,
okay.
I bet you he'll step up, sort of. He'll definitely step up. And he played a 4-2-3-1, by the way. And I'll tell you what, he better have on midfield for breakfast. For Son Cookie, having Newcastle for the under-23 manager's job, we are a banter club. We are an absolute joke. I mean, if you're going to go for a manager average, whether it's under-23s or first-team manager sort of thing, believe you and me, right? You don't have a trial. You don't take a man's on trial. Surely not. You give him like a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, 3-year deal, whatever it may be, sort of thing. But I've never seen a club like this in my life. We have Gary Colworth under 23s, right? That's about a month or so. And then they released after a month. Unbelievable. Our club, our training facilities. I don't know if you see our training facilities for Newcastle United is an absolute crap. Really? It's like going back in the 70s, It's like going back in the 70s, yeah? I mean, basically, right, it's got like wheelie bins as well. And if you look at the stadium as well, it's got a dead pigeon on top of the Gallagher, hasn't been shifted for 3 years. And in the main stand, the Melbourne stand, right, if you go onto the drinks section, right, there's only one staff. The credit card machine isn't working, right? People queuing up. The poor that's got to do all herself is an absolute joke. The football club's a disgrace.
That's not good.
Oh, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Then I've got Paul again. Don't you dare say it, John. The 3 words there. And Dad said, John, don't say it. Watford's dad has some blue waffle, and he's a Watford fan. You heard of him, Blue Waffle? Watford fan?
No.
And I've got Alessandro Belletti. I mean, he's Italian, so I said, ciao. So I said, ciao, Alessandro, come stai? And yeah, I mean, I'm trying to learn Italian, but not very well. If you translate in English, I probably won't get it, sort of thing. So that means, what it means, I don't know, but I'll go into Rome in 2 months' time for a week anyway. If Wilson was fit, then we stand a chance. I mean, have you been watching a lot of Callum Wilson, Mike?
I think he's a very, very good player. I not particularly fond of him because he used to play for Bournemouth, and I'm not particularly fond of Bournemouth. But listen, he's a natural goal scorer, isn't he? I certainly wouldn't turn my nose up at him. We've had players from our rivals before, and they've gone on to do well. So I'm sure he would have probably done the same. So I didn't know he was still out. So that's a little bit more of a sigh of relief. But he's a very, very good player, Callum Wilson. That was a cracking signing from you guys. Really was.
£22 million he cost the Sparrow. Might have been 20, but I think it's 22 million. But they were reluctant to pay the money because we needed a striker sort of thing. And he's on £100,000 a week, by the way, the highest earned player in Newcastle United. And they reluctantly pay that money because you need a centre forward sort of thing. The problem with Callum, he's injury prone. He's out for the next couple more weeks. And excuse me, and we needed a backup striker in the summer. So in case Callum gets injured, if he got injured, we got a new one there. Dwight Gale, not being funny, but he's not a Premier League striker sort of thing. He's had a 3-year deal, but he has not had 1 minute of game time this season in the Premier League. It is absolutely unbelievable. What do you think? I don't know if you watched Joe Linton. Have you watched Joe Linton for Newcastle?
I have, and I don't think he's the best at all, to be honest. So, that the less said, the better, probably, John.
Yeah. Marks out of 10 for Joe Linton?
4. Is that too generous?
Wow, for me it is. Let's be real about it. Let's be real. I'm not a fan of Joe Linton. But people think I'm a Joe Linton fan. I can tell you now on air, I'm not a Joe Linton fan. It's as simple as that. I've got Daniel as well. We'll talk about your manager, by the way, as well. We've got Daniel as well. No ambition, no hope, no money, no ex-players allowed in the stadium. I didn't know that, Daniel. No ex-players allowed in the stadium. Wow. If that's true, that is shocking. No cut runs, no fan communication, no expectation. This is Newcastle United 2021. We are truly terrible. Well said, Daniel. I can't say any more than that. It is. She is so right, by the way. And I've got GM score predictions. I'll comment on one later on. Daniel, again, you can tell I'm in a bad mood, lads, can ya? Well, no surprise there, Dan, but listen, you just be you. Just pent at the Boosie press conference. I'll be doing the press conference reaction tomorrow, by the way. So tune in for that, guys. Well, you know, easiest job in football at Bellend, where he is silly. I guess an early score. Swings Watford, 2-0 to Watford. And Steve Bruce, this is not the real Steve Bruce, by the way. So, well, you know, Watford, a massive club, they have the world-class players such as Sissoko, who has won a World Cup. Wow. John, I want an autograph, please. Yeah, but I'll come to Newcastle, my guy. Just that's if you spot us, I'll do it, and I will quite happy doing it. No problems at all. But you can subscribe to my channel, mate. That'd be a great start. I'm off to a kebab Galaxy to a hook-up trip to Portugal for the international break. Enjoy, fellas. Well, enjoys to you. At least Watford don't have a chance from James as their manager and director, sort of thing. They've got Mikey B. Joe Lynn to get in position for 3 goals Saturday. Always Mr. Flame, all 3. That's the easiest prediction. Oh, man. £40 million, man, you cost us. We could have got Salomon Rondon for 16 million.
Cost you £40 million, Joe Lynn.
40 million quid, and he's on 86 of the English bags a week, by the way. Wow. Wow. And then don't worry, lads, we have big Jordan, 40 million worth of Oh, man. I shouldn't be laughing because he's very, very poor, by the way. He's awful. If Callum Wilson was injury prone, then there's no way we would have signed him for 20 million. We would have been looking around 35 to 50 million quid. Wow. Unbelievable. Not how much is Jolin worth? 50 million, yeah? I'll just give him away. Look forward to arguing because Watford been a long order. Wow, last one, Jake. And I've got keep up being John, like how you use loving the cap. Keep that as your YouTube look for now. Loving the mic too. Kia, thank you very much indeed, my guy. Just gotta be professional now on mic because I was told by my guy Paul, get a microphone and I get more subscribers. But Cuba, thanks so much for that, my guy, and just brilliant. Thank you. And do subscribe as well, by the way, if you've already not done it. I say Jordan's worth about 5 million, probably 5 pence the way we go. Totally agree with you on Jordan. A few good touches. Some fans think he has the worldliest crazy shite. 4-2-3 on Saturday. Get up top with ASM. Willock is going to be injured, by the way, James. He won't be playing because he's got ankle injury, I think he's got. And Miron or Fierce are just behind. For me, Almiron's got to play in the can role, by the way. That's a 10. So I would take Dinas back up to Wales. I'd take Joe Dinas back up all day long. I would have done. On the free signing as well, but he not come up because he's gone to his hometown club. Hello to the special guest too. That's from Kiraf. Hello to you as well. And it's that Yeti microphone, John. It is Jolie. I had it through the post yesterday, and you know what? I'm made up for it as well. So I want to talk about your manager, Cisco. Is it Cisco Munoz? I believe it is.
It is indeed. Yes.
He must have been a 20th manager since on Basel. Is Gino Apostle your president?
Gino Pozzo, the Pozzo family owners, yeah. I was reading on your Twitter that you're quite fond of Serie A, so I'm sure you'll know exactly who the Pozzo family are, won't you? So yeah, exactly. So I'll keep an eye on Udinese as well. So they've got a lot of our ex-players at the moment. The last player that we sent over there was Isaac Success. You know, they've got Pasetto, Pereira. Who else they got? They just got rid of. They got Delafeu, Forestieri. They just got rid of Stefano Akaka as well. They got rid of him in the last window. So, yeah. Going back to Cisco Munoz, the Pozzo family doing what the Pozzos do. They found this sort of hidden gem of a manager in the Georgian league. We'd heard nothing about him. We just needed someone in. Vladimir Ivic it had gone so stale under Ivic and it just wasn't enjoyable. We were picking up points, but it was not enjoyable whatsoever. Listen, in the Championship, you have to grind out results. Everybody knows that. Newcastle, you might not know that purely because every time you've been in the Championship, you seem to just rip it apart. Like, I remember Newcastle in the Championship a couple of times, and it was like they were head and shoulders above everyone else. So, Munoz come in last season, bit ropey to start with. You know, there were even calls for him to be sacked last season before we started. You know, before that game where we won 6-0 against Bristol City, there were even calls for him to be sacked then because the football was going a bit stale and all that. But He got us promoted. There's been a couple of shaky moments this season. That's to be expected. We're back in the Premier League, but I like to think he's here for the long, foreseeable future. He's a really good character as well. Really likable gentleman.
Yeah, he's good with the press as well. By the way, he's very good with
brilliant.
the press. Brilliant with the press as well. And I'll tell you what, as well, unlike our fraud manager at this moment in time. So, got a question for you, Jake. So, were there any approaches for Sarr in the last transfer window?
There was. There was a Sarr. There was an approach for Sarr from Liverpool. To the point of Sadio Mane, who is Ismaila Sarr's international teammate. They both play for Senegal. Sadio Mane was actually looking for apartments in Liverpool for Ismaila Sarr. That's how close it was. I don't think they could agree on the contract. No, they couldn't agree on the fee. Sorry. Crystal Palace had a bid on transfer deadline day rejected last season. So not this season, last season. I think it was more of a, we'll chance it, we'll stick a bid in, we'll see what happens. It was rejected. Manchester United wanted him, but they wanted him on a loan deal with a view to a permanent. So there's been plenty of approaches for Ismaila Sarr. But what I like about Sarr is it's very easy for young players nowadays. As soon as a big club comes in, if you're at a team like Watford or someone like that, as soon as a club comes in like Manchester United, Liverpool, whatever, it's so easy. Your head is turned. You don't want to know, I want to sign for them. Ismaila Sarr has been absolutely superb. His attitude, he just wants to play football and he's happy at Watford. To be honest, regardless of if we stay up or go down at the end of this season, I think Sarr will leave. But I will thank him for his service. He's been so good, and he's not been turned. His performances haven't dropped because of it, or he's been absolutely tremendous. His attitude has, and I cannot ask for anything better.
Well said, well said. I mean, this guy is quick, so direct, and he's very quick as well. And if you do lose him, it'd be a shame, man. But at the end of the day, money talks. This Premier League is a Big Six league. It's as simple as that. That's it. The rest of them just doesn't exist anymore. Do you know what I mean? We need this takeover. If you got a takeover Newcastle, then it's absolutely lift off, by the way. I got Malcolm Kennedy in the chat, and even lads, I can remember when our kids won the Youth FA Cup doing a Watford with the likes of Gasser Joe Allen. I can remember that, by the way. And also got down as well. Remy Savage called up to the senior squad for the Watford game, but probably played like Lily Savage on the boost. Oh, man. Bro, an absolute banter club. Oh, really are. Apparently, Udinese wanted to sign Matty Longstaff. Bet he would have ended up with Watford. But for me, he should have gone Udinese, in my opinion, right? He would have the best training there. He would rather play the likes of Rodrigo De Paul, who's moved on to Atletico Madrid, by the way. So, but he would have done okay. Udinese has some decent young players in the time, like Dalavage, Cuadrado, Bruno Fernandes used to play for them as well, by the way.
Alexis Sanchez as well.
Yeah. Yeah, they all played as well. And, the new days produced some young, good players there. And when they moved on to bigger clubs sort of thing, they have been very successful, by the way. So, Udinese is a club, has been Serie A because they are a terrific club for young and upcoming players. So, yeah. But they need to attack more, by the way. I've got Dennis to score a hat-trick. That's from Mike Smith. Mike, please subscribe to my channel if you get the chance. What's happened to Gerard Dulfeo of what is quality of Watford? Malcolm is at Udinese.
Yeah, he was quality for Watford, but there was no way in a million years that he was going to play for us in the Championship, and I do not blame him. So we sent him over to Udinese. I think to start with, we sent him out on loan, and there was thinking behind it, right, if we can get promoted first time, we'll get him back. But then he signed on a permanent. He did his ACL again, I think, over at Udinese. So he's just coming back to full fitness there. But Deulofeu, class above. Like on his day, he was unbelievable.
I think, to be quite honest with you, I think he's a bigger club than Udinese. No disrespect to the Dacia, but I call it Dacia because that's the nickname, Dacia, right? And no disrespect to Udinese, right? But he deserves a big club at Udinese, by the way. But if he's having Udinese, I wish the kid well. Palace offered 25 million for Sarr. Absolutely no chance. And I've got to ask this question. What's your thoughts on Luton Town?
Yeah, I've just seen this question. Probably the less said, the better. I'll get myself in trouble, and it's on your channel, so I don't want to say anything bad. But let's just say I'm not very fond of them. Let's just say that, John.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Moving along then, and Jukes, it sounds like Sar was Watford's Bendia. Excellent player who does the best first club as long as he's there. Good to see a professional attitude like that. He's absolutely right. He's so spot on. You know, I can't see ASM playing in the Championship. That's absolutely nowhere. Nowhere.
I don't think you'll go down. I don't think you'll go down. I think there's 3 worse teams than Newcastle. That might sound like what is he going on about, because you guys watch Newcastle week in, week out, but I think Newcastle will be safe.
I hope you're right for that case, but if Steve Bruce gets a sack earlier, we've got a good chance. But if he steers, I think we'll be relegated, because if Callum Wilson gets injured, we've got no one's going to score the goals, and our defense are slow. Excuse me, midfield, they got no creativity whatsoever, sort of thing. We already have the back. He's come back in soon anyway, sort of thing. But yeah, it doesn't bode well, done for Newcastle. It does not bode well at all whatsoever. I got Geordie as well. Oh, Udinese feeder club for Watford. Yes, they are, because Barstow family also owns Udinese, own both clubs, Watford and Udinese. By the way, I think his son owns Watford. And Gino Pozzo owns Udinese, am I correct in saying?
Yeah, Gianpaolo Pozzo. I think it's Gianpaolo owns Udinese, and Gino owns Watford. So the father owns Udinese, the son owns Watford.
Wow. And did they ever come out for interviews? I don't ever heard him on interviews.
I think when they first took over the club in 2012, they did an interview with the Watford website. I think we received a statement from them when we went up and when we went down. They do regular fan forums as well, where fans can turn up. You can ask whatever questions, and something which Newcastle fans could probably benefit with, but they're probably too scared to do one because of the abuse they'd get. But the Pozzos communicate as well as they can, but they mainly do it through the CEOs, Scott Duxbury.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. It's just, I think they're going to be okay, but they need to give managers time. If they can give managers time, great. But, at least they're spending money, or big money, when it needs to be, because Watford spend a lot of money, and how much it cost? 40 million for Sardi. Yeah, so 36 million.
I think it was a little bit less than that. I think it was around the 30, sort of high ends, 20s, early 30s. I think James, who's in here, will probably know the figure, but I don't think it was as much as 40 million. I think it was around sort of high 20s, early 30s.
Wow, we could have got him for less than Joe Linton, by the way, and Sardi's levels, man, levels. I've got Daniel again down. No managers worse than Steve Bruce in this league. I totally agree wholeheartedly. There are some cracking Championship players there as well, but they'll not touch the Newcastle job at all whatsoever. It'll kill them, especially young players. As simple as that. Yeah, James Region, 30 million. Yeah, club record signing as well, by the way. But
he was.
Yeah. So on to Saturday's game, right? Obviously got to play yous on Saturday. And I've just got a question from Peter. So, John and Mike, I would like to ask you both about the lack of players loyalty to clubs. Well, for me, like Mike said, Sar's been loyal to the club. He really has. ASM has been loyal to the club as well, to an extent that they show ambition as well. But what's your take on players' loyalty these days? Do you think they want to go to bigger clubs straight away?
The player loyalty, to me nowadays, it's very rare that you find a player that is loyal to a club. And at the end of the day, some players see football as a money-making business. If you're going to be offered a higher contract but less game time, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna take it. It's very rare you see players staying out just for game time. If someone's getting played week in, week out at, say, Newcastle, but then, I don't know, Arsenal come in and say, right, we're going to pay you 2 times more than Newcastle pay you, but you're going to be on the bench most times this season. You might come on here and there. That player's going to Arsenal because it's more money. It's all about money making. It's business, And the older players, I don't I can't blame, if an older player's going to take a bigger contract towards it, he's trying to get the money before he retires. I don't have a problem with that. The prime example is Troy Deeney. Player loyalty is spot on from him. It is very rare you get a player cut from that cloth like Troy Deeney. He had so many chances. The year Leicester won the league, Leicester bid £30 million for Troy Deeney. He could have played Champions League football. He could have been playing for the champions of England, but he turned it down and wanted to play for Watford. The amount of times that he could have left, but he stuck with Watford. So, that's a prime example of someone who is loyal, but you don't get it much nowadays. So it is a shame, but at the end of the day, football's a short career for anyone. You get the odds that maybe play till sort of mid-30s, but after that, you need to make as much money as you can before you retire. So, yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. And also that when we had Rafa Benitez as well, I mean, Troy Deeney was linked to Newcastle United, by the way, as well. But he wanted to know that will Rafa be still at the club? The reason he wanted to come to Newcastle, because of one guy, that's Rafa Benitez. That's the reason why. But he was told, I think Rafa told him that he's not sure he's going to be there next season. That's the thing. And that's why he stayed at Watford as well. So big up to Troy, to be loyal. And he's just a great guy, sort of thing. And let's hope that, he does well for Birmingham. I think Daniel left a message there as well. I know it was owners that Mike Ashley demands elite ESG of everything. Well said. I got the Watford way as well. I think you know him quite well, I believe.
Yeah, James is the man behind the Watford way, and he's actually a regular sort of contributor on our podcast. So if anyone wants to follow him, subscribe to him on here. He does videos as well, and he's a top guy. Thanks, James. Hope you're well, mate.
No problem at all. And please, mate, can you subscribe to my channel as well?
Yeah, James, subscribe to John. Top bloke.
Thank you very much indeed. I really appreciate that. I mean, I'm still not mentioning those 3 words yet because I've got Daniel watching, I've got Paul watching as well. If I do, well, I'll probably do. I do say those 3 words, then I'll have to donate the money to the food bank in Newcastle United, and that's the promise. So I may slip it. You never know. If we get relegated, I'll play some drum like rats of a sinking ship. Let's put ASM will go. I think Julian's agent's going to say, stay at the club, stay at the club, stay at the club. There's 86,000 reasons why he wants to steer. 86,000. Emil Kraft, he's on £58,000 a week. No other clubs are going to pay their wages. That's the thing. So you lumbered with them for a long, long time. When he got relegated, we had Kevin Nolan, Joey Barton, Alan Smith, right? They were on 60 to 80,000 pounds a week, and no one could afford their wages. So we lumbered with them straight away. I'm glad they stayed because they got us up. Yeah, John Joe Shelby's on 80 grand a week as well. We get relegated. Who's going to take him on? They got to pay his wages, simple as that. And let's take a pay cut. They won't. And that's the way it is. It's just the way our club policy is at this moment in time. We're giving long-term contracts like Joe Linton, 6-year deals. We're giving Jacob Murphy 6-year deals. Yeah? They lumber of them. Joke. Got Daniel as well. All the best for Watford this season. Remember, don't dare to dream big, though. The top 6 won't allow big chances for clubs like ours. Now, what Daniel is saying is, which are for the takeover for the Saudis, right? But the Premier League do not want to pass us because they do not want us to upset the top 6. Do you know what I mean? The top 6 are controlling Richard Masters. He's a cheeky sec of the Premier League. He is absolutely hopeless, by the way. He's a weak Spaniards get. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say that. He does not want to pass our takeover because he's being controlled by the top 6. So that's going to the cat case next week. And let's hope that we win that. If it goes ahead, then I hope it does go to arbitration. I hope the Premier League sell out, of course, so we can get the takeover. So if it takes us to arbitration, they'd be bigger fools than ever. But there you go. Good point. Footballers are professionals at the end of the day. They're doing the job like we do every day. It would be hard for us to turn down bigger wages in our jobs, and they are no different. I can understand if it's like a normal job, that's fair enough. Some footballers are quite happy, like take the big money and hardly play. What's your take on that one?
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. One player that always jumps into my mind with stuff like that, Sean Wright-Phillips, when he was at, I can't remember where he was at, but Man City come knocking and he jumped ship straight away. Hardly got a game. Then he went to Chelsea. Again, hardly got a game. I think didn't play as much as he did where he was before. And luckily for him, he got bailed out a bit by QPR. Although back then, that was when Harry Redknapp was spending a lot of money, so he probably would have been on decent wages. But luckily for him, he got game time again. So there's been so many players that will just jump ship, take the money, and it doesn't work out for them.
Yeah, that's a shame, really, because you ought to be playing football every week, not sitting on the bench every week. And not only that, it can cost you an international career, by the way, and people just don't think that at all whatsoever. And I don't know if did I read the last one? Yeah, I did. I think most everything now. Lots leave after a few seasons or go for an extra player package, as players are meant to get as much money as they can retire. Whereas the clubs are foolish enough to pay the money anyway. I got down as well. If you go down like Shelby, won't be half as effective as they were last time. They were doing like under Rafa Benitez, by the way. I think they probably won't care in the championship. If we go down, we have at least 7 or 8 players who won the championship. The last time we came up shows our lack of investment. James, I can see your point straight away. You're absolutely right. We've got 8 players still playing for Newcastle. They're playing the championship in the Premier League. And Mike Ashley's not investing at all whatsoever. Steve Bruce has come out and said that we've got players who've been there for a long, long time. Yeah, the players who've been on a long, long time are not good enough for Newcastle anymore. They're not. It needs profession, as simple as that. I mean, if you do sell LSM next season for 60 million quid, that money needs to be invested straight away. Give it a boost, it'd be gone, long gone before that. And just bringing the players could do a good job for Newcastle United. We need fresh blood, right? The players are there, it's just stale. I can name a lot of them. I don't know what you take on that. I know you're not a Newcastle fan, but
yeah, that's the problem. It's all well and good having the players that won you the championship, and it's good to repay that loyalty. Look, Bournemouth did it. They were playing I think, can't remember who it is off the top of my head now, but one of their players was with them from like League One, League Two. So, it goes to show that some teams are loyal to keeping their players. So, yeah, by all means, keep the 1 or 2, but 7 or 8 just shows that, that's probably why you're struggling a bit this season, because they can't quite make that jump up to the Premier League standard.
Exactly. Got bang average players, I'm afraid. I mean, I said I only keep 7 players for Newcastle. The rest of them could just seek pastures new because they aren't good enough for my club. I will need new, fresh places, sort of thing. Steve Bruce needs, he should be gone, but he should be sticking up for the player and for the owner. Have a go at the owner. Have a go at Lee Chandley. Say, I need players. You have to have money there. Otherwise, I can't work with this team. But he's a bit peed off, by the way. Let's be real. I've got down again, John. I'm doing a watch on Saturday. I am indeed. I'm going to do a watch along. I'm going to do after the match. I'm going to do the video call, and that's going to be it. So it's going to watch along straight, and then the video call straight after that. I'll be on about 2:20 with a team build up, as everyone knows, and hopefully, if you listen to Steve Bruce, I may get him on as well, sort of, not physically, but just listen to this interview. Load of crap. Anyway, I've got to do the press conference reactions tomorrow, by the way, but yes, I'll definitely on Saturday. And Mike, what's your ambitions for Watford this season from Daniel?
Simply to stay up. I know before we got relegated, we had 5 seasons in the Premier League, and even the season we got to the FA Cup final, there was even talk of Europe. We were really knocking on the door. I remember going to Huddersfield away, winning 2-1, and that put us up to 7th in the league, and that was towards the end of the season, and we were thinking, bloody hell, it might actually happen here, and we're on a bit of a cup run as well. It's funny how things can change, but literally any team will tell you. Brentford will tell you now. And they're, the highest out of the promoted lot. It is literally to stay up this season. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah. If I was a Watford fan, we finished 17th, I'd take it because Watford...
snap your hand off.
Yeah. If you're a Watford fan, but if Newcastle finished 17th, I wouldn't be celebrating finishing 17th. There's no way. It might be okay for Mike Ashley because the money that could stay in the Premier League, but 17th place, that's not my dream. That's not Daniel's dream. I can tell you that right away. Sort of thing, because we deserve better than that. We want to be top 10. I said before, if you had Ralph Hasenhuttl with this team, right, it'd get us top 6, real top, because he will squeeze every single one of those players, right, to where they want to be. I can guarantee, because Hasenhuttl is a top quality manager, sort of thing. Okay, forget the 9-0 beatings and that, but he's still a quality manager. And Southampton came to St James's a couple of weeks ago. First half, they should have scored 3 goals, and they deserve something out of the game. I've got some jigs, 8 players who won the championship 5 seasons ago. A long time, lads. Can't see the likes of Shelby or Dummett able to keep up physically. I have to agree. I mean, Dummett, I haven't centre back, no question. I haven't centre back. But John Joe Shelby, I would have got rid of him years ago. He's not the same player. You know what I mean? Rafa tried to get rid of him as well, by the way. Couldn't do it. Could not do it.
We were linked with him this season.
You went in for him, didn't you?
We were linked with him. I don't know if anything come of it, but we were. The links were definitely there. Yeah. So I personally wouldn't have taken him. He used to be good. You know, obviously played for Liverpool for a reason. I did rate him at one stage in his career, but yeah, he's no good now. I don't think.
Nah, he's just not the same player at all whatsoever. He tried to do those Hollywood passes 10 times, you know, and one of them comes off every 10 times sort of thing, you know what I mean? And also, he comes back and help out in defence as well, sort of, and that's not his game whatsoever. Should be the midfielder, pick up the passes, keeps things simple. That is it. Rob, even my guy, will be okay. I've got James, that's it, Jake. Off the top of my head, I think it's Darlow, Clark Lascelles, Dummett, Shelby, Gale, Richie, just a few. Yeah, totally agree. I mean, out of those players, yeah, I'd probably keep Lascelles to agree. Dummett, I'd keep. Richie, yeah. I keep him, but I do not want to play on the wing as wing backs. Yeah, but I like Darlow, but I think Darlow will not be. He will not be a number 1 keeper when Dubravka comes back. By the way, I just don't think he will. So, yeah, I still keep it. The rest can just go and tell them where to go. Right now, it's just one football game, John. I do as well. I want to win a football match as well. But you do know that I don't know if you know that Steve Bruce since 2009 has not won 3 games straight. Since 2009.
I did not know that. No, but I know you guys probably won't want to hear this, but Newcastle are actually the team that we've picked up most points against in the Premier League.
Yeah, that just sums it up, doesn't it? It just sums it up. It really does. Wow. That doesn't look good for us on Saturday, doesn't it? I do expect you to beat us anyway. I'm not being negative. I'm just being real here at the minute. I've got Njika, our second season up, and our subject survival need at least 4 seasons to build up your squad to fully complete at this level regularly, and still can't take it for granted even then. Yeah, I have to agree. I think it needs to be absolutely fine. Celtic 2-0 up, by the way, against Raith Rovers in the Scottish Cup, by the way. I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine, my guy. Predictions for Saturday. I'll tell my predictions in a second. Mike, would you have taken Matty Longstaff last season?
Last season in the Championship, yes. This season in the Premier League, probably not, knowing who we've got through the door. Although it's easy to say that now we've signed players, but before maybe I would have done, but definitely in the Championship I'd have taken Longstaff. And I think someone brought it up earlier, you know, he was linked with Udinese. I think that was the way of the Pozzos being very, very sneaky and cheeky about it. They would have signed him through Udinese, but make no doubt about it, he would have been coming over to Watford without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, that's how they do business, don't they? That's how they do business.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So, yeah, it is what it is. I knew they'd do that sort of thing. But when he stayed in Udinese, I think he might have done it now. I'll take a chance. Got Peter, so Everton interested in Sean Longstaff. That's not for the first time. They were linked to him anyway. And, yeah, he's out of contract at the end of the season. And we need to keep him. We definitely need to keep him. Because I still think once he gets over that injury, that bad injury he had, then I think he'd be okay. But he's slowly getting better, sort of thing. I'm not going to lie. John, who doesn't think we'll win the Italian League? At the minute, I mean, I don't think Juventus will. Not at the minute. Not the way we started. Definitely not. But I think for me, Napoli looks good. Inter looks good. Milan looks good as well. It's between those 3. I mean, my pick at Atlanta, they're struggling at the minute. I will not say struggling, but they're not. They won the last 2 games. They may just get back to it as well. But it's not an Italian League show. It's a Watford show. And yeah, so what would your team be on Saturday for Watford on Saturday?
The team prediction was that, sorry, John?
Yeah, start with the team prediction, yeah.
Team prediction, I would say It looks like it's going to be Foster in goal again. Dan Backman, who won his place last season. Bit of a weird one at the moment because we were told to start with by our guy at The Athletic that he had a knee or a foot injury, or might even be a leg injury. I'm not sure. We were told he had an injury, basically. So Foster was going to come in. And then we expected Rob Elliott, who you guys will be well aware of, we expected him to come on the bench. It then turned out that Foster did in fact start, but Dan Backman was on the bench, and we thought, well, hang on a minute. We were told he was injured. I was then made aware by James, who's in this lobby watching, that Xisco was asked after the game what was wrong with Backman, and he said it was a tactical change. So it sounds as if that Backman's been dropped, but the website have now said that Backman is a doubt for the game because he's injured. So I'm really unsure as to what's going on, whether he's injured, whether he's been dropped. So I'm going to go Foster in goal. A back four of Danny Rose, left back. Centre back will be William Troost-Ekong, and hopefully Francisco Sierralta, who was so good for us last season. I think he was rested against Norwich because he had a bit of a nightmare game against Wolves. He scored an own goal, and he could have done better for their second goal as well. So that was one of the not his best performances in a Watford shirt, and he was an absolute rock for us last season. So I expect the pairing of Troost-Ekong and Sierralta, and then right back I would imagine Kiko Femenia if he's fit. If not, Jeremy Ngakia. And then a midfield three, I would imagine Sissoko, Juraj Kushka, who we've signed from Parma. I'm sure another one you'd be well aware of him. So I'd imagine those two, and then probably Ertzan Tufan, who is signed from Fenerbahce, or Tom Cleverley, and then the front three, in no particular order, it would be Sarr, Dennis, and King, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Chucha as well. I mean, I watched his career really played Milan and Parma as well. He's a good player. He really, really is a good defensive midfielder. So he gets booked a lot, though. So do expect that, by the way. So anyway, and that I do like the Sarr. Obviously, plays right in midfield. Yeah, definitely on the right. Cleverly probably play a 10 role. I mean, I like Emmanuel Dennis as well. I think he's quick, rapid, and will take on play. So I think it's great. Not for us, it won't be. And Josh King as well. So for the Newcastle team, I mean, for me, he's going to be Darlow in goal. He's going to play a back five, by the way. It's got the back five's going to be Makrilo, Richie on the wing backs. He's going to have to play hidden midfield now. I expect Fernandes to come back, and Fernandes, the sales. I hope Shea comes in as well. Then the three midfield is going to be Sean Longstaff. Joe Willock could be out. I will not be surprised if Jeff Hendrick came in and Miron, and up front it'll be ASM and Joe Linton, and that's my 11. He's going to play 5 at the back anyway, and that's me. That's not my dream anyway. Before getting you score predictions anyway, I mean, I'm just going to go through very, very quickly. Paul, definitely ring in the next 10 minutes, mate. I know I haven't forgot his battle yet, and what I'm hearing now is absolutely shocking. Matt, do you have a spare 340 million? Asking
I don't. Well, I'm just patting my pockets down. I don't have my wallet or anything, so no, I'm afraid not, Danielle. Sorry.
Wow. Chairman, I have to go now. Really enjoyed the show. That's good stuff. Have 2 Watford fans answering questions from a Facebook group, quality fans as well. James, you'd be a great sport, my guy. But thanks for coming anyway, James. And enjoy your evening, James, anyway. And thanks for joining my channel as well. Daniel, I'm not heard you. Wow, that's not good. That's not good. So I'm gonna get on to Paul in a bit. And so, what the score's going to be for Saturday? 3 o'clock.
Do you know what? I do. Now we're just hearing you talking about how bad things are going at Newcastle. I can just see this right now. Newcastle scraping a 1-0 win. I really can. But listen. I don't want to say this to downplay Newcastle, but I think we're playing you at the right time. And again, I don't mean this in any disrespect to Newcastle, but with a planned protest, things aren't going great. Really, this is a game we have to be attacking on from the front foot. We know that this season our home games are going to be massive. We have to use that home form to our advantage. So with that in mind, because we're at home, I am going to go 3-1 to Watford, but I don't think it's going to be a classic. Match of the day will definitely be putting us on last because it's not going to be a classic whatsoever.
I wouldn't be surprised because Newcastle's only on last anyway because we play shite football on the Steepers anyway. And all these pundits on Talk Sport as well think that Steve Bruce is doing a fantastic job. And I tell you what, they're not. I've done the name and shame on Sunday anyway on the channel as well. So check out for that as well because someone suggests that to us. I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. Oh, man. So got Judy Hofswell in the building. And seems they've got another childish child. Yes, we have. I mean, I have to block him because there's too much going on, by the way, Judy. I'll tell you what as well. I'm not being funny here, but something is dreadfully gone wrong with Paul. Very concerned about him. And I'm going to give him a ring in a minute. And it seems they've got another childish child. That's from Judy. Yeah, ridiculous. Even to Ryan, will be okay. 4-1 to Watford. That's from Blue Waffle. Daniel, good luck on Saturday, Mike. Please don't hurt ASM, by the way.
Thank you. Hopefully we can mark him out of the game. I am really worried about him against our defence, providing, if Ngakia plays at right back, I am a little bit worried because he has seemed a little bit lightweight so far. But yeah, he's a cracking player, and he's a joy to watch for neutrals, let alone Newcastle fans. So yeah, best of luck for Newcastle for the rest of the season, other than Saturday, obviously.
Thank you very much indeed, and to your team as well. So, Paul, we're gonna wrap it up there, Mike, and but I know you've been on for an hour and 10 minutes, sort of thing, and I know you're a busy guy and you've got other projects to do as well. And where do you find you on the socials?
Yeah, so you can find myself on Twitter is Mike Duffy _26. You can find the podcast that I host, which is the Voices of the Vic. You can see it just here. That is the Twitter name at Voices of the Vic. That's also the Instagram name, and we're on Facebook as well. So make sure that you give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram as well, if you've enjoyed what I've been talking about tonight. And you can find our podcasts on all podcast providers. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed listening to me talk for about an hour and 12 minutes. But yeah, no, it's been a real pleasure. Thanks for inviting me on, Johnny. It really does mean a lot, mate. And we'll definitely speak for the reverse fixture at St James's Park.
Oh, please do get us on there, man. If you do just get us on there, man. And we've probably bottom of the table anyway, so probably but I'm doing a video call on Saturday, sort of thing. I don't know how you do it. I can get you on the video call on Saturday, so if you get plans. And if you can, great. If not,
well be free, yeah.
And yeah, so what I'll do, I'll send you a link for it as well after the game. You can tell us on your CS sort of. I'll be watching it live on the streams as well, and got a couple of comments as well. I got ASM's he's a different kind of type of gravy from Danielle. 2-0 for Watford. I got zero faith in this. John, are you saying that you keep Sean Lansdowne, even though he keeps giving a ball away? Look, he gives the ball away, right? Let's not make a mistake about it, yeah. But I think it's slightly getting there. But he needs to stop giving the ball away. And if he does that, if you stop giving the ball away, it would be okay. That's absolutely no problems at all, Pete. But yeah. It's a tough one, but I still keep him. I think if he's cut out very quickly, wouldn't surprise us if you have one of those crap seasons where you only get 20 points. Yeah, Jude, that's a possibility. And thanks for chatting to us, Mike. And that's from Judy. She is so popular. Love Judy so much. She is absolutely amazing. And she loves talking about Joe Linton, by the way.
Thanks, Judy.
Did you enjoy coming on my show, mate? Did you enjoy coming on?
Oh, 100%, mate. I've loved chatting to you. Your Newcastle fans are really, really friendly, and yeah, like I said, I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Newcastle. So I'm best of luck to the rest of the season, other than the 2 games where you have to play us. But yeah, thank you, John.
You're welcome. Don't go away yet. I'm going to do my finals here. So, Blue Waffle. John, can I have a shout out for Big Cheese? He's a big fan, nickname, by the way. Big up to you, Big Cheese. Big up to you, my guy. And John, what do you think of Ballyball Bags, good player? Never heard of him. That's a wind up, by the way. Ballyball Bags? Never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Never.
But character, I don't know. But anyway, listen, thanks for coming on anyway. I'm going to keep on a second. And guys, if you do like my video, do please like, subscribe, comment as well. I'll be back for the press conference reaction tomorrow about 7:30. Maybe between 7 o'clock and 7:30, one of the two. But see what Stevens have to say. On Saturday, I'm doing a live watch along. And I'll give you a video call after the game. Hopefully, you might come on as well after the game. And have this day. And Mike, thanks for coming on and for Watford perspective. And up the Hornets, up the tune. And I shall catch you very, very soon. Take care.
Cheers, guys.